Hey everyone, congratulations. We are almost there, almost done with this semester at least, so very exciting. So I just want to keep it under my 5 minute limit and get right into it. So this semester I definitely felt like I was being treated like a teacher and not just a student, and this is more like professional development, and I think I gained a lot from this class, which is surprising because it was so like not because the information wasn't good, but because it was very much like you needed to take responsibility for your own learning and do it. You couldn't just sit back and let it come to you. And I really also enjoyed it because it wasn't just a textbook and quiz questions. It was really hands-on, and I learned a lot about myself and social media that I did not know, which I thought I knew a lot about. So, anyway, one of the things that really sparked my imagination or drew my attention was blog post number 3, which is up on the screen, and it talked about writing reports and using a notebook and encyclopedias and that sort of thing, and was like, that's from the early 80s. And I thought, whoa, I wasn't even alive in the early 80s, and here I am. I was like 1 week out from starting a project with my kids about Black History Month and historical African American figures, and I was legit gonna do that assignment. Like, hey, you're going to the library, it's gonna be old school, you're getting these books out, and you're gonna use them, like I had to use them, and you're gonna write this report. And then I started reading the responses on this blog post, and I was like, oh, not a good idea, because look at this. Like, I'm looking and I'm watching each one of you write about a time in your life that you had to do a report like this, and you remember it and you hated it, or you didn't feel like you got much from it, or you didn't feel like you really were intrigued by it. And so this kind of changed my whole outlook and brought me to using this project on African American historical figures as my practicum project. And although that did not turn out how I hoped, I am glad that I did it, and I think that I learned a lot from it. My students, maybe not so much, but me, definitely. So that brings me to my next slide, which is a screenshot of my practicum project. And if you ever read through it, you'll hear all about how I had big dreams, and those dreams were crushed by the lack of technology in my school and my naivety when thinking that one person could handle 20 to 24 first graders on computers at the same time. And then we just had some really unfortunate events occur that were nobody's fault, but definitely did not help us. But still fun, and again, a learning experience for me, and we got to laugh through it with the kids. And then the last thing is Screencast-O-Matic, because I cannot talk about it enough. I love it so much. I'm using it next year in my classroom in a kind of flipped classroom scenario. And so when I was creating this one for my live binder, I just thought, like, wow, I really love it. This just makes me remember how much and why, and I'm glad that I got to use it again this semester, and I get to see some more of my classmates use it and get some ideas for next year. We're going to be using it for phonemic skills and comprehension skills and all sorts of cool stuff, little read alouds and things like that. So I was glad that I got to see it again in a class. So anyway, I do feel like this whole class changed my teaching perspective again, which seems to keep happening in Dr. Kissel's classes, and I'm glad for it. So I hope that everybody else had as good of an experience as I did. And have a great summer.